Welcome to this video on what's new for GitHub Copilot in Visual Studio Code 1.115 that was released in April 2026. Follow along as I demo the new features. Enjoy! I'm happy to tell you about this really new feature, and to be able to show it to you, I need to use Visual Studio Code Insiders, the preview version that is not the stable one that most people are using. And inside of the Insiders version, there is a new feature that is hidden behind the command bar. So if you press F1 on Windows, Command Shift P on Mac if I'm correct, that will open up this command bar, and you see it already at the top, Open Agents Application. So if I execute that command, it will open a totally new UI. This is also available from the start menu. So it's hard now to show it to you, but if you go to the start menu, the name is called Agents-Insiders, and that will open up this app. What you see here is an app meant to control agents. It's mainly background agents, so it's for now not focused on the agent that is working in an interactive way in VS Code. So let's go over this UI. So what we see is at the left-hand side, we see our recent repositories. As you might know, I'm using the Wright Brothers demo repository, and what you see here are recent sessions. So you can open up a session, see the session log, see what files have been changed, but there is no direct view of the code. Obviously, you can open the files, you can click them, it will open up a Git diff, so you will be able to see the changes, of course, but it focuses on the agent interaction, the same as what you would see on github.com when using the coding agent, or now called the cloud agent. So I can go over different sessions. I have an overview of which sessions are running in multiple repositories, so I don't need to switch repositories to be able to see sessions in other repositories. So the nice thing is that these repositories, they collapse and expand, so I can click another one, open it up. You see two buttons here behind. It's to create a new session or to mark as done, and that would archive them. That's a feature that was already there in VS Code. And if I open up a session, that would of course put it in the context. So the context is now my Wright Brothers demo repository, and then it shows the customizations that are available in that repository and the system-wide customizations. So those are the ones that are in your user profile. So in my repository, I know that I have an instruction file. I'll show you. So in the GitHub folder, I do have a C# instructions.md. So it is discovering that. If I click these, it will take you to the new UI that became available for chat customization that was introduced, I think 2 versions ago in VS Code, which is a great way to, view these instructions and modify them whenever you want to. There is of course the chat input window here at the bottom, and below that you see cloud. That means that it will delegate it to the cloud. Recently also Copilot CLI appeared, but the funny thing is that that is not available yet, for me at least. So I assume that this will be available soon. To be able to hand it off to the background agent or the Copilot CLI, you still need VS Code. If you're landing new in this UI, you will see this. You can generate a new session and you can choose either a repository or a folder where you want to start it. You see the 4 most recent ones right here at the top. And if I click select repositories, it will take a little while, and then it will load recent repositories. So I can just go to my Wright Brothers demo, and then I have a new session. And then in that session, of course, I can just start with a prompt, something like, let's see, refactor, maybe more generic question, create a controller for airfields in the same way we have them for planes and flights. So in terms of models, the default is the auto mode where it will choose. And as you can see, the model list is a little bit limited. So the free models are absent at all. So you can't use GPT-5 Mini, GPT 4.1, GPT 4.0. I guess most people will definitely for the more complex tasks use Claude Sonnet 4.6 or Opus 4.6 anyway. Maybe some people will use GPT 5.4. So yeah, I think it makes sense. And then you just dispatch it. And what will happen on the background is, you can see it right here, is delegating it to the cloud agent. So it's currently running in the cloud. And if I take a look at my browser, I can see that it creates a browser session. So yeah, this is pretty new. There is probably a lot more that can be told about this new UI. Keep in mind, it's still only available from the insiders version, not the regular stable version. GitHub is, or Microsoft in this case, is really asking for feedback. You can create issues in the repository, in the VS Code repository, to provide feedback. So let them know if you have any optimizations, improvements. And yeah, I hope you have some nice discoveries here and it helps you do your work. The integrated browser in VS Code has been introduced a while ago, but I have not covered it so far. And I thought it was about time to cover this. If you're doing web development, it's a great feature because it integrates into VS Code. You don't need to open up a separate browser, and it can actually interact with GitHub Copilot. To enable this interaction, you will need to make a setting. So search for agent browser. And then this is the first setting. That's the actual setting that you need to enable. Enable chat tools. It's an experimental feature. Yeah, it needs to be switched on, obviously, to be able to use this. So if it's switched on, next step is to ask Copilot to start your application in the browser and ask it to do something. I don't know, in this case, verify all features. If all features work, browser is an important keyword here. And that's because it's part of a new tool that is in the built-in tools. So the tools that come with the GitHub Copilot extension, they expose the browser tool, and within the browser tool, you'll see some, or the browser tool category, and then you see some tools that have a relationship to a browser. In the background, actually, they are using Playwright to do this, so you might recognize this. And this, well, this takes care that you don't need to install the Playwright MCP server to be able to do these kind of things. The browser tool needs to be enabled to do all of this, so keep that in mind. I will start and let it work for me. It should start the application first, so it will go into the backend, will run the backend, and then it should run the front end. So let's see if all goes well. Do know that I have seen some issues with the older models picking up the right instructions for starting your application. So that's why I'm using Cloud Haiku. And I think that will run fine. So this is the front end starting, and now it should open up the integrated browser. There we go. So there is the integrated browser, and it will start exploring my web application. It will take pictures, so screenshots of what it's doing. And you will see the app is loaded. It's actually navigating to the different pages. So yeah, and there we go. We're getting there. Still busy. The actual improvements that are part of this tool set is that they improved the tool labels. So as you can see, maybe let me scroll up here, press key, end, in, and then this is the title of the web page with a link. So that is an improvement. Before you could only see clicked element in browser, which is a little bit, well, oh, and this is funny. I have not seen that before. It's running play or wanting to run playwright code. Let me check the page structure more thoroughly using the browser's developer tools to find all navigation elements. Well, I'm okay with this. I will stop it for now. I think you have seen what it does. There are some other improvements, improvements for long-running script support. So scripts that take longer than 5 seconds, that's not really that long. It will now return a deferred result for the agent to poll. So the agent will be able to poll whether or not that script is done. And it won't create as many duplicate tabs anymore. So if you have been using this, this functionality, then you'll probably be happy. Maybe some quick information on what is happening here. There's some more buttons that we have. You can add an element to chat. If you, for example, say, okay, this triangle is overlapping with the title. Now I added it here. It creates an element screenshot and it copies the div. And then I can ask a question or ask Copilot to improve. There is a button to add the console logs, and you can open the developer tools that you're used to from your browser. Now let me close this window and start a new chat so we're clean. And now I'm going to manually run my application because that's the other way to open up that browser. This is the backend that's going to be run, and this is my front end that's going to be run. There we go, it's running. I'm going to copy the URL, and then I press F1 to open my command bar, and there you see it already, browser : open integrated browser. That opens up my browser. And then I paste the URL, so that opens up my website. Now, what I can do is I can share this session with the agent and then ask the agent to do something. So I click share with agent, I click allow, and then you see that there is a thin bar around this page. And it's sharing with the agent. Now in my history, let me look quickly. Yeah, this is the prompt that I would like to use. What is the title of the page in the browser? And click local plane 2 and tell me where it goes. So because we switched on sharing with the agent, Copilot has now access to the browser and can actually navigate in this browser. As you can see, it's taking screenshots again. It finds the title of the page. It's now clicking the local plane 2 button, and now it's verifying where it gets to. So yeah, I think these features are really awesome to work with web development and to be able to debug stuff and to have Copilot really close at the place where you do the development and where you verify whatever you're building.